Hey folks, Free Play Frank. Okay, this week I've got a video about a new house I made for my goats, my male goats anyways, because I have to keep the male goats separate from the female goats. And then later I'm going to play a classic song from 1978, Baby Hold On by Eddie Money. Okay, let's get going. Alright, so this is what I've got right now for my bucks. And it's just one of those sunshade shelter things that you buy at Costco or whatever, and it's not waterproof. I've got it tied to the fence so it doesn't blow away in the wind. So we're going to be building them a permanent shelter. Now I've got these these are shipping pallets. I don't know what got shipped on these, but they're just a little bit under 4 by 8 foot. So I'm going to use the 2 of these for the subfloor. And then I'm going to put plywood on top of that. And I've got a bunch of 2x6s and some more plywood that I'm going to build all the walls. Okay, I got the subfloor done. I got both those pallets screwed together, and I ran 2x6s around the outside, and I'm going to put plywood on top. And I left this end open so I can get the forks underneath to pick it up. And I got a bunch of this sheet metal here that I got off a friend that was moving. So we're going to use this for the roof. Okay, I got the plywood on now. A little bit of a rotten spot there in the middle because the plywood was stacked up underneath the trailer and some water got in there. But it'll be alright for the goat to stand on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build the trusses for the roof. Now I'm going to do the roof on top of this floor because it's the same dimensions as the building when the walls are assembled, and I'll be able to screw the metal on without climbing up on anything. Now an old timer carpenter taught me the best way to make trusses is to lay it all out on the floor and build one and then build the rest of the trusses on top of that one. That way you get them all the same. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to lay it out and then I'll make one truss. And we're going to make 4 trusses for this. Okay, I got my trusses figured out here. Now I measured my roofing metal and I figured out that I can get 2'6" of overhang on this side of the shed. So it'll give the goats a place to stand outside, plus a place for the salt lick and the water trough and so on. And it's going to be 21.5 inches high in the center. And I'm going to have 1 foot of overhang on the other side. Now I cut out these pieces on a plywood and they fit on here, and then I'm going to use screws and construction adhesive to join them together, and that piece of 2x4 in the middle is just a spacer, and then I'll just build the next ones on top of these so they're all the same. Isn't that right, Mummy's baby? See my darlings here, even though this shed isn't for them, this shed is for the boys out front, they still got to see what I'm doing. Okay, I've got the 4 roof trusses done, and see I built them one on top of the other, and that way they're all the same. And I used little pieces of the scrap of the plywood to space them so they're all level. And you got to make sure that you use screws that aren't longer than the pieces you're screwing together, otherwise it'll screw into the one below it and then you'll have 4 trusses all screwed together. I'm going to use a 2x6 for a ridge board, so I have this piece of 2x4 in here as a spacer. And I made a bit of a mistake here. This was my first piece that I cut up there for a template, and I forgot that it was in my work area, and I went and screwed and glued it down. So oh well, 10 minutes of wasted time there and a little bit of wasted glue, but no worries. Trusses are done. Now we're going to assemble the roof. Alright, I got all the rafters assembled now. I got to use lots of screws at each joint. So now I'm going to find some pieces to run across this way to support the metal, where the screws are going to hold the metal down. Alright, I got these pieces on here. I took apart one of those pallets to get these 10-foot 1x6s, and this is where the metal is going to attach to. And then I also made these hooks up, one at each end, so that I can lift the roof. Now they're not to lift the whole building, just the roof. And then I'm going to add a couple cross braces across the bottom to keep it from sagging. So now we're going to put the sheet metal on. Alright, I got all the tin on now. And I got a ridge cap on here, and I just cut around that with the zip cut so I can put a chain on there to lift it. And the only thing to do now is I got to get a caulking gun and caulk all the screws and all the holes from the last time it was used. So the next step after that, we're going to lift this out of the way, and then we're going to assemble the walls. Alright, I got two walls up, and I just got it braced just temporarily, and now we're going to get ready to sit the roof on. Okay, roof's on. I left some of the cross bracing in. Now this is the front of the barn, so there's going to be a door at the front here and a window. Hi, Mummy's baby. And the other little sweetheart doesn't have a name yet. And then at the back, I'm going to have a hay feeder inside, and there's going to be a trap door above the hay feeder that lifts up so that I can come along on the outside of the fence and fill up the hay feeder.
Baby, hold on to me. Whatever will be. The future is ours to see. When you hold on to me, baby, what's these things you've been saying about me behind my back? Is it true you might want a better life? Do you think these things are lies now? Think about it, baby. I want to take you to the top. So baby, hold on to me. Whatever will be. I said, the future is ours to see. When you hold on to me, hey baby, the future is getting brighter every morning when I get up. Don't be thinking about what's not enough now, baby. Just be thinking about what we got. Think of all my love now. I want to give you all I got. So baby, hold on to me. Whatever will be. I said, the future is ours to see. When you hold on to me, oh, rich man, poor man now, don't need all that much. Mama's always told you, girl, that money can't buy you love. So baby, hold on to me. Whatever will be. Future is ours to see. When you hold on to me, I said, hold on. Hold on to me tighter now. I'm never gonna let you go. Can't you just believe me now? Hold on to me tighter. Baby, hold on to me. Whatever will be. The future is ours to see. When you hold on to me, baby, hold on to me. Whatever will be. The future is ours to see. When you hold on to me, hold on. All right, that was Baby Hold On off Eddie Money's debut album. Now here's some interesting stuff about Eddie Money. He was originally Eddie Mahoney, but he changed his name to Eddie Money. And he was also a cop before he became a musician. So isn't that cool? Here's a little more fun stuff here for you guys. There's another famous 70s rock band from the New York area whose lead singer was originally a drug dealer. And they're both the same age. I wonder if they ever crossed paths. Something to think about. Alright, so my shout out tonight goes to Arms Family Homestead. Now, another Midwestern family homestead channel. They raise goats and other animals. Good channel, check them out, guys. Thanks for joining me this week, and remember, next week is a Christmas edition. Don't miss it. Okay, good night, everybody. Take care.